Hello friends, today I'm going to cook a British dish called steak and kidney pie. A friend of mine who was my classmate in Maritime College in UK asked me to prepare this video, and I've taken it as wise and going to make that video for you. Now we need some beef, naturally, that cutting into squares and try to make it all the same size. And also we need some kidney. So I'm only doing a little bit of the beef and the kidney cutting and do the rest off the camera. For kidney, we gotta get that white piece in the middle out. That's the hard bit, and we don't want that in the pie. And then we chop the kidney into small pieces, as you can see me doing. Now I do, as I said, I do the rest of the kidney and beef off the camera. We need 3 kidneys and about maybe 700 grams of beef. Other ingredients that we need are the potato and carrot and mushrooms and onions, and of course the beef and kidney that you saw me cutting, and it's all ready as well. Okay, we also need some garlic, so we are gonna keep that for later on. And now prepare a liquid that we need. We are going to use 1 cup of beef stock, and we may have to use a little bit more later on, but to start with, we are going to have 1 cup of beef stock. We also need half a cup of Guinness. The lady who taught me this years ago said you got to add the Guinness to it, otherwise it's not a British steak and kidney pie. So I'm adding half a cup of Guinness. If you don't have Guinness around you, you can just use anything else, you know what I mean. And we also add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And now we are going to put the liquid aside and get a couple of plates, add some white wheat flour, some use cornstarch for this, but it's up to you. I mean, for this part. So we add the beef on the plate and move it around, trying to cover the beef with the flour. This flour will help to have a thick juice during the cooking that will be very much like gravy. Now we are going to do the same again for the kidney. Gonna add some flour to the plate. Add the kidneys and move them about to get them covered with the wheat flour. Right, now we are going to put a frying pan on the stove and spray some olive oil in it. And add the beef to the frying pan. I'm trying not to have too much flour in the frying pan because then it will burn and give a dark brown look that we don't want. Now we will try to separate the meat and make sure they don't stick together as a lump. And wait for it to get kind of brownish. Now that the beef is brown color, we don't want to cook it too much, of course. We are going to add the kidney. Kidney needs less time than the beef, so we add it later, not at the same time with the beef. And of course it's a smaller size. We do the same to separate them. We don't want them to stick together. Now our beef and kidney is ready. We are just going to turn the heat off and put it aside for later use. Now, because we need more space, I'm going to use a wok, and in this wok I'm going to spray some olive oil, and then add the onions to it. Now when the onions get a bit softer, we are going to add the garlic. And now we are going to add some of the potatoes. That's enough. And mix everything together. Now we add the carrot. Mix again. And we are going to put a cover on to get the heat evenly distributed. Need to be a bit more olive oil. Okay, now after a few minutes we are at the stage that we can add the mushrooms. Just a little more spray of olive oil. We don't want anything to burn. And now our vegetable is ready, almost. It's time to add the salt and pepper. So we add 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and at this stage Brits add thyme. Add thyme for the flavor, but I'm going to use my famous aromatic herb mixture that I've told you a few times before, and it's in the description what it consists of. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. And this is the difference between the steak and kidney pie that I cook and the other people, because this aromatic herb mixture is tremendously reducing the smell of kidney, because a lot of people don't like the smell of kidney in the steak and kidney pie, but this mixture of aromatic herb is going to reduce that smell a lot. You don't believe me? Try it. Okay, now we put the cover on again and wait a little longer. Now we are going to add the beef and kidney. This aromatic herb is killing me. It's so good. Now we mix vegetable and meat. And when it's all evenly mixed, we are going to add our liquid, which is beef stock, Guinness and Worcestershire sauce. And this is the time that we decide if we need any more beef stock, because it has to cover the top, and it's not. So I'm going to add half a cup more of beef stock, so that the liquid comes at the same level as the mixture. Half a cup of beef stock. And now we put the lid on and put the heat on medium-low and let it simmer for a minimum 1 hour. That way all the liquid that you see is going to be absorbed by the vegetable and the meat, and it's going to get thick. Okay, now 1 hour more. Meanwhile, we are going to prepare our dough for the pie. We need some all-purpose white flour, and depending on how much flour you use half as much butter. So I'm going to use 3 cups of flour, and therefore I have to use 1.5 cup of butter. Make sure everything is nice and cold for this dough to be a useful one. So the butter has to be cold, the equipment has to be cold, and also we are going to use cold water. So I'm adding the butter now, and we put everything on the food processor, and also add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Now we put the lid on and let the food processor work for about a minute, mixing the butter and the flour. And now we start adding the cold water. I'm going to use a strainer to make sure the ice doesn't fall in. So we add some cold water. We do it little by little to make sure the dough is the thickness that we want it, and not too soft, not too hard. So we just keep watching. I think we need a little bit more water, so I'm going to add some more. That should do it. And now you can see the dough is forming a ball in the food processor, and when that happens, that means the dough is ready. Okay, you see the ball going round. All right, that should do it. Now you can see the dough there, and what we need to do is to take it out, put some flour on the board, and get it like one big circle of dough, and then put it in the bowl and cover it with nylon sheet. And now we are going to put it in the fridge for about half an hour to an hour. Meanwhile, we have a look at our mixture on the stove, and if it's ready, we turn it off and wait for it to get cold. Now an hour has passed, and we are going to take the dough out of the fridge, and it looks fine. So I'm going to cut it into 2 halves and use 1 half at a time. It just use a roller to spread it, sprinkle some flour on top of it so that the roller doesn't stick, and now spread it. As I mentioned, our mixture is also ready, and I turn the heat off and let it cool down. I'm trying to get it as round as possible and even. Now I'm going to cover the bowl that we are going to use. I'm using these disposable aluminum ones because it makes it so easy to keep them. If you don't want to eat them at the same time, you're gonna need to refrigerate it, so this is the best way to do it. You can use bigger bowls if you like, but now I'm cutting the extra bit around the mold. We are gonna use that later on. And now we push the dough to make sure there are no air pockets and it just sticks to the sides. Now we need a couple of egg yolks, so I'm going to crack 2 eggs and separate the egg yolk from the egg white. That was one, and now the second one. Because they've been in the fridge, it's a bit more difficult to get the to get the white separated from the yolk. Okay, now we have our egg yolk. I'm gonna poke them with the fork and then use a brush and brush on the top of the, or top edge of the mold, and make it sticky so that when we put the top part on, it sticks. Now we are going to bring our mixer and fill up the pie bowl with the mixture. We should make sure to fill it up right to the top so that when we bake it, it doesn't sink. The top doesn't sink. Now after filling it up, we are going to cut the top piece. So I'm using another aluminum bulb and cut around it, trying to get the right size for the top. Now we are going to put it on the top and press it down so that it sticks. And now we brush egg yolk on top of it. This is going to give it a very nice color when it's baked. And use a fork and press down on the edge. This will help the edges stick together, the top and bottom part, and also gives it a pretty look when it's cooked. You will see later on that it makes it look a lot nicer. Okay, now that's one. I'm going to do the rest off the camera. Now, as you can see, I managed to get 5 pies out of what we had, and I have preheated the oven to 300 degrees and adding the pie on the top rack and wait for it to bake. We keep looking through the window to see when it's ready. Now I see it's all ready, and I'm going to bring it out and show you the result. I'm going to show it to you close up now. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think.